Three. We'll start on the line, it's approximately 10 lines from the top, ha-chochmah. So he distinguishes between a chochem gadol and a gibor bechochmah. Chochem gadol means one who can elaborate very broadly on a chochmah, more than someone else. And the end of that line, aval gibor bechochmah, but the principle of gibor, as it applies to chochmah, who that applies lehoitzi dovar hanelam dafka. It is when one brings out dovar hanelam, something which eludes recognition. You don't see it at all where there's anything hidden there. And this is gibor bechochmah. Ad she'ein shum dovar nela mimenu. All the way to the point where if he's a gibor, there's nothing that is nela mimenu that is distant and beyond him. So I'd like to focus in a little bit on this principle, gibor bechochmah. And earlier we said that he will find Ayin sechel in anything, anywhere. What is the principle behind it that he is going to be able to find Ayin sechel anywhere? It seems to be implying that in fact there is inherently Ayin sechel everywhere, except normally it is contained within its container and you don't notice it. And a gibor bechochmah, he can dig in and draw it out and find it and identify it. So the principle behind this statement that he can find Ayin sechel everywhere is an overall principle that the Alter Rebbe says that, like I bring down from the Arizal, that in everything there is a chayus. Even the offer ha-doimein, there's a chayus. What is the meaning that offer ha-doimein there's a chayus elokei? Even though this is totally doimen, and as such, it does not represent anything. It's just a presence. But really, he says, in everything there's an inner chayus. There's a chayus. What is the significance of this chayus? Chayus means, what does this thing live with? This means chayus. What makes it live? What makes it tick? What makes it be? Is it there just because it's there, or does it want to be? So here's the principle that we have to understand. This gibor bechochmah. How does he become a gibor bechochmah? Is he just going to dig through a straight wall? No. Because that he is a chochmah, which means that he recognizes fundamentally that there is no mitzias but for the godly force that creates everything. And this principle, by him, it is with such force, with such clarity, that everything is nil, except for the fact, if there is anything, it's because God created it. If it's God's creation, then there is a godly significance. Is what was created, why was it created, what gives it a being. The whole principle there is a godly creation is not just that God created something, let it be. Nothing was created unintentionally. Everything was created b'bchira and intentionally. This is why we say this has hashgacha protis in everything. The Baal Shem Tov had taken the hashgacha protis principle to such extremes that it's hard even to perceive it. In our physical world, something that occurs seemingly totally insignificant within the realm of this physical world. No, this is a godly phenomenon. There's a chayus to it. It represents something. This means chayus. Seeing that there is chayus in everything, therefore the chochmah, gibor bechochmah, he digs in and he's able to reveal the sechel, the sechel element in this. What is it? What is that? What is its significance really? What does it stand for? For this you need a gibor, because when you approach a domain, it defies the entry. How are you going to enter this domain?
It says that like a chochmah mechaya ba'aleo, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's like one thing depends on another. You're talking about the gibor bechochmah is one who is able to see through all the halomas v'esterim to see that chayus. But that seeing that chayus itself gives you gibor, gives you this inspiration to look. I mean, you
I hear what you're saying. You have to learn this in ha-chochmah chaya be'aleho. Means something else really.
Maybe I quote wrong. That's not the point I'm saying. I'm saying it seems to be sort of saying here about the guy who is to begin with, he is a gibor, so therefore he's going to persevere go through all the halomas v'esterim. But it seemed that just that experience itself strengthens person. Meaning, more you see of this kind of stuff, more you have inspiration, more you have spirit to dig for deeper for this kind of things.
You always have this tendency. Gashmius only begets Gashmius.
Gashmius?
Only begets Gashmius. Does not beget Ruchnius.
Okay.
So no matter how much structure you'll find in Gashmius, you won't find anything but structure. Gashmius is structure.
How am I?
Chochmah brings out chayus.
Adarabah.
How do you get chayus? Where do you get chayus?
Where?
Where do you get chayus?
It's from the Eibishter.
Okay, so the chayus come from Beis.
Yeah.
Not from your experience.
So this person who is a gibor bechochmah, he was just like born like that? Is it possible to become stronger?
It's sure it's becoming a part of
How?
To beetle of chochmah.
But the experience of like looking beneath the surface.
Because he's bolted to the chochmah.
That's why he's looking beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the chochmah opens up to him the below the surface.
That itself is the experience of beetle, right?
Yeah.
So if
It's not an experience. Bittul is bittul.
If he did that once, does it mean that he's able now to do a deeper beetle, reach a deeper beetle? Because he reached such beetle, he was able to find chayus in thing that concealed so much. Does it mean that next time he's able to?
But you're saying that if he did it once, that enables him to do a second time.
I don't mean that I'm saying it enables him to do deeper. The ability comes from within him. I understand that from the Eibishter, that he has this insight from chochmah. But when you're saying you're talking about something extraordinary, something.
Yeah, gibor bechochmah.
Right. So it could be that a person was cholish bechochmah and then he become gibor bechochmah. And I want to know if that thing itself, the exercise, so to say, of that beetle, will bring.
The truth is, a cholish bechochmah doesn't go to a gibor. He can be a small gibor and a bigger gibor. When he practices his gibor, he brings it out more. A gibor in such he has a daring. This has to be a nefesh koyach.
But that daring every living human being has.
To a very limited extent. The Alter Rebbe says, you cannot become a tzaddik. Why not? You practice tzaddikus and you become a tzaddik. It doesn't happen.
Because he doesn't have that degree of beetle.
Doesn't have that koyach nefesh. The nefesh has it, but it doesn't have it with slapshus in his book.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So gibor bechochmah says the dover ha-ne'elam. And I'm explaining, if it's ne'elam, how do you know there is chochmah in there? In everything there is chochmah. Because in everything there is chayus and a key.
Rabbi Paltiel?
Yeah.
Before you go on, let me just ask you this.
Disconnected.
What?
Check the your phone might drop the call.
Did you drop my call? No, I still seem to be.
He might have disconnected in the middle.
You'll call him, right?
So we have Bluetooth connection.
What?
We have a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah. Baruch?
And I think he must have. And we're still with that phone. You're still in the conference, yeah?
I'm not phone. The best I could see.
Okay, he'll call back.
Yeah. Hare. Okay, so we are on the line that begins l'hoitzi dover hanela. And that's one that we should understand. When we say dover hanela, is it there or is it not there? On what basis does he go looking for it? This is the pshat gibor. That he recognizes that inherently in everything there is a imply. Even though it's completely concealed. Because he goes to the source of this inyan. And the source of this inyan is koyach halaki. And it's not only a koyach halaki, but it is an intent, a godly intent to create it. Therefore there is a chayus in it. And therefore he goes after, therefore nothing stops him. This is a phenomenal union for us in our generation, in our day, where the world has become blinded by the physical presence. Physical presence, this is the end of existence.
Physical what?
Physical existence, physical presence.
To finish that sentence, physical presence
It's the end of existence. This is the primary existence.
the
end.
When you say the aim,
The end.
the end, it finishes.
Yeah, that's there's
He's
no
saying
no
Paul,
further
he's
no
trying
further
to, can you
looking.
put it up? He's trying
No
to
further
talk.
looking.
He's Baruch is talking.
They're looking constantly.
connected.
Where is that physical particle that cannot be
his phone.
divided?
What's that saying?
Because physical particle, this is the basis of everything. So there has to be a basic physical presence. We are blinded by this. Physical presence is a godly creation. Yes, it's very real because God wants it to be, and that goes ad infinitum.
Good business.
What was that?
It's good for their business.
Remember?
Yeah.
You can check your phone. I hear Baruch, I think, is say something up. See if he's.
Right? Hello?
No?
No response. Hello?
Spill it?
It's jumps.
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me now on the speaker or on the phone?
Yeah,
This guy. Okay, hold on a second. Can you hear me now? Baruch? I'm going to count 1 to 5. Tell me what you heard. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Connected to mobile device.
Okay, now I'll hear it. All right, we got disconnected from the bridge over here.
That's
Yeah.
it, from the conference room.
The bridge.
Oh, from the bridge.
Yeah. Okay, we're back in the rounding here.
Okay, so did you hear my original question?
No, this is when we lost. Yeah.
Okay, so the gibor bechochmah, when you say he sees the sechel, he finds the sechel in anything. What does that mean exactly?
Okay, so this is what you mustn't miss. What it means is, like I started saying, did you hear that when I said no, Arizal that the Alter brings down that in everything there is a chayus?
Yes.
What is this chayus? This chayus is a chayus eliki. Chayus means, even though it's a physical entity, but really this physical entity has a chayus, it's a godly creation, and it inherently has, so to speak, a meaning, what it stands for. Regardless of how physical it is. Because
That's
everything was created with intent. That's chayus. Chayus means it has a meaning. Chayus, to put it in very simple terms, it wants to be. It wants to represent what it stands for. This means chayus. Because it is there because there's a godly will for it to be. And it is promoting that will. And I want to put it in real terms. I mention all the time, quote from the Evan Ezra's, the song of Evan Ezra. One God created me, and He said I'm alive. These are such profound and fine words. And what this is saying is this: everything wants to be. You know why you want to be? Because God wants it to be. And it is the godly will that translates in your wanting it. This is chayus. And because it is chayus, so that he can identify this chayus with his sechel. No matter how concealed, and this is it's concealed. Concealed means in its very presence. It's a physical presence. In this very presence, there is a chayus. There's a double sechel to be drawn from it. Why is it there? What's the rotzen, what's the will behind its being? Baruch, I need feedback. Did you hear what I said?
I I hear exactly what you said. So this chayus itself is nelam?
The chayus is concealed, right? It's concealed within the body of within the essence, the presence, in the concernius.
And the gibor is finding it with his chochmah on nelam?
Mm-hmm. The gibor is
With
not that,
nelam-
he breaks through right through the wall.
Right. But he does this with koyach nelam.
He draws out the koyach hanelam from the chochmah. What's mean the koyach nelam? Koyach nelam means in him, by him, there is no such thing, there is no chochmah.
Uh-huh. But to have this kind of ability to draw this out, we're saying that he himself has a koyach.
This is called the gibor. This is a neshama koyach.
Right. But I'm asking that koyach that the gibor has. There's such a thing as chochmah, a koyach geluya of chochmah.
Of course.
That's not the same.
It's not the
That's
same
what we're
thing.
talking about here.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's what the gvura element in the chochmah.
Right.
And this is what he explains on this line I put after. L'hoitzi dovan hanelam dafko. It is to bring forth dovan hanelam, a concealed, an obscure thing, dafko. That is exclusive. This is where the gibor bechochmah applies. To the extent she'ein shum dovan nelam imen, that to him nothing is nelam, is obscured, is unreachable.
This question that someone asked before about whether you can grow into this,
Avram,
whether
right.
you can whether you can become a gibor. And I would think that would be very hard.
Well, that's when we explained. That's when you were absent. That this is a koyach nefesh. Just as the Alter Rebbe explains, that's the clearest way of explaining it. That a Beinoni, no matter how pious and how dedicated he'll be, he can never become a tzaddik. It's a phenomenal thing. He's practicing tzaddikis, and he doesn't become a tzaddik. He doesn't have that kind of a koyach nefesh.
This gibor is a tzaddik? Must be a tzaddik?
No. Give me an example. This is
No,
a similar
stop. No,
thing.
it's not. It's
No,
not
it
a
doesn't.
shot.
No. Let's keep
Push
it.
me. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Well, you are so strong. Now push me the other way.
Baruch, I thought you were going to mute.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mute.
I know it's beautiful, but
I have a dual duty right now. Okay, I'm on
say
mute.
somewhere sometimes that the soul of a tzaddik can enter a person?
the what?
The soul of a tzaddik can enter a person?
I don't know. That I can ask you.
I don't mean a newborn. That's
All right. So let's continue on this line. Lahoitzi. Therefore, we see from that illustration of gibor bechochmah as an example. So we see there the Ayin tagboiras koyach, that the principle behind tagboiras koyach, the gvura element in the koyach, but the koyach comes with gvura, not in a normal flow, but with a special force behind it. What is that function? By the function of that is lehavi, is galus. It is to bring forth externally and to reveal koyach hanelam b'yoser, the koyach that is very inherently contained in the etzer. Nelam b'yoser, it's very, very, very obscured. Where is it obscured? In the etzer, in the mitzias. Okay, so this is what we said initially that the Ayin that the nefesh is mechaya the goof, is mislabish in the goof, that represents an aspect of Tagboir Zakoyach. So we went over to explain Tagboir Zakoyach with several Misholim to establish a sense what it means Tagboir Zakoyach. So therefore, going back now, Ukmeikein Yuvon Inyan Vayibach Beyapo. So therefore, similarly, we will understand when it says Vayibach Beyapo that Hashem blew into his nostrils. It comes to bring in the neshama into Adam. There was the Inyan Vayibach Beyapo. He blew it in his nostrils. The man, the nofach, and as the Zohar says that when one blows, the force of the blow is from the deepest essence. Hainu, in our terms, in terms of elaboration, it means Hamshochad bechinas ha-helem the etzem ha-nefesh. It is bringing forth the helem of the etzem ha-nefesh. Shelamayla mikol ha-koichos, that which is above all the koichos. What was brought out with this neficha was brought out the atzmius of the nefesh beyond koichos that are a derivative and a functioning element of the nefesh. Gam mibchinas yechido, even higher than the yechido aspect. Yechido is also a koyach, a nefesh, a life element in nefesh. When you say nofach, that comes from that's the boris chayus, that boris chayus. Okay, so I put it in very simple terms. Yechido is a very, very high level in the nefesh, and it presents the depth, the deepest quality of nefesh, but it's not nefesh. It presents the deepest quality of nefesh. What does the nefesh stand for? What is the deepest message of the nefesh? That's presented in Yechidah. But it's a nefesh of a message of the nefesh. This
What you read the last sentence?
message,
What it is representing?
and koyach ha-nefesh. I don't know where to start. It's
The
all
very last sentence that you said, the very last one.
Yechidah is a very deep message of the nefesh. It says about the nefesh the deepest principles that the nefesh stands for, but these are staying this principle the nefesh stands for. This is not nefesh itself.
Mm-hmm. We had been talking about the gibor, the bechochmah, and then we kind of turned the corner here with Ukmocha and Yuvan, this neficha.
Right.
I don't know if I'm getting what's meant to be understood here or how they tie together.
The whole thing started going to the gibor of the Sinyan to explain how the nefesh is mislabish in the guf. And we explained that nefesh is mislabish in the guf. This is, as I said many times, it's an anomaly.
Okay.
How does a nefesh mislabish in the guf? The answer is vayipach. That he brought, that the neficha brought out in the nefesh something which is beyond any manifestation of nefesh. It's not a question of what the nefesh is standing for. This is the essence of nefesh.
Okay.
And this is higher than all the koichos, even higher than the bechina of Yechidah.
Okay, and the gibor, so just as the gibor delves into and finds the chayus, so to in a kind of reverse way.
Where is the gibor find the chayus, and how does he have the ability to do that?
That's on account of this neficha. the koyach that's invested.
Well, no.
No.
This is a mashal for the Inyan for Lechiach. This is a mashal for the Inyan for Lechiach. What is really? What is the principle of a gibor? Why is it that nothing is nela mimenu? I want to put it in the following way. I really would like you to think with me. There's a wall. A wall. You can't go through the wall. Right? How can you go through the wall? You can't go through the wall. And so therefore, rationally, with all the abilities, with all the chayus that you have, you say, finished. The wall is blocking me. I can't get through. What does this mean in a developmental state? I'm here and I want to get there. The reason that I want to get there is, for whatever reason it is, I want to be there. But there is a kind of a definition. What is it that I want to be? Why I want to be there, and what is it I'm looking for to be there? So therefore, I'm figuring, okay, it's possible to go there, to get there, because this is a distance of whatever, 10 miles. And 10 miles, I know exactly more or less what it means. And I'm going to start walking, and eventually I'll cover the 10 miles.
Uh-huh. Right.
This is my perception. 10 miles makes it accessible. It's not easy miles. There may be all kinds of different obstacles, but it's accessible. And on that basis, I'm going I'm starting on my path. Then, during this journey, I come to a solid.
The surprise is right, right?
I come to a solid wall.
Mm-hmm.
I never reckoned that there's a wall over there.
Mm-hmm.
I come to a solid wall. That cancels all my plans. I thought it's accessible. It's not accessible. It's not accessible. So this is true for from any angle, anyone who perceives things that I can reach things because they're accessible, he will be stopped by this one. The gibor does not reach things because they're accessible. The gibor reaches things because they are there. Period. If the wall is here, does that mean the place where I wanted to be is not there? It's still there. This thing is there, and I'm here, so I'll get there. That's the gibor.
Yeah, he reaches them because they're there. Or his
Used to be that saying about Everest.
But what?
Why'd you climb the mountain?
Everett.
Was it there?
Everett.
not Everest.
That was a challenge.
That's an exercise, but it's a martial though.
Yeah. So, this is a very important principle. Since the place where I want to go, where I want to be, is there, therefore, what what does that elicit in me? If initially I was going to go there because it's accessible, so that elicited in me the koiches, I'd say, okay, it's accessible. There are these things that I can do to get there. But since that now I identify these things not by accessibility, but by existence, here is where the gibor comes in. What is the measure of your ability? Accessibility, ability, or your presence?
What's the last word?
Presence.
Presence. I want to tell you a little story. And unfortunately, I don't remember the Chassid himself who was involved in this. The Rebbe, the Friedrich was an Astov. You know, the end last years with Astov. Astov itself, it's an area full of criminals.
It's true.
Right? He can help us. Whatever reason, the Rebbe ended up being Rostov. The Friedrich, the Rashabim moved to Rostov, and the Friedrich Rebbe took over Rabbis in Rostov. To get to Rostov from Moscow, from any place, is taking your life in your hands. Criminals all over the place. So there is this Chassid. Rosh Hashanah is coming around. Rosh Hashanah is coming around. And I'm not going to be Rosh Hashanah, but I'm not. Impossible. It's not a stupid man. He knows where you are, what it means.
He's not stupid, bro.
He knows what it means. And there's no way I'm not going to be on Rebbe Rosh Hashanah. He sets out on his way. He sets out on the way, gets himself a ticket on a train, right? The government-controlled train. He's sitting on the train, he is riding to Rostov. Sitting over there in a little corner, makes himself as obtrusive as possible. But he's on the train. Of course, he's noticed by these whatever you call them.
Hooligans.
And they're standing around. Oh, look at that!
Gentleman.
Look at that! Jit, whatever it is. Anyway, they couldn't contain themselves. They pick him up, they throw him overboard. Throw him over to the window, through the connection between the two cars. They just throw him down, and he rolls down the mountain. Rocks and whatever, he rolls down the mountain. And somehow, miraculously, he survives the roll down. You can imagine what kind of survival this is. But he survived, he's still alive. And he is found over there someplace down the mountain. And they take him to the hospital and kind of revive him. And start treating his wounds and all that. Wound is not even an hour.
He was wounded, Boros, wounded.
And from the hospital bed, he writes a pidyon from Rebbe. And in the pidyon he writes one thing. I ask for one thing, that I should come to Kever Yisrael. That I should have a Jewish burial. That's what he writes from the hospital bed. As Ashgocha Protis will have it, he came back to his koiches. And he continued on his journey, and you reach a stop before Rosh Hashanah. Then I don't remember. For Rosh Hashanah, he reached it during Tishrei. He reached a stop eventually. Sitting by the Fabrengen. So you see my Ayin, the Rebbe. The Rebbe started talking about it. Says, how does a chassid think? The only thing he can think of is about a kosher burial. That's what you're asking for? Shame on you. In other words, this Bayonim were able to destroy you?
What was the last line of that?
What?
And then what? What was the last line there?
The last line inside.
No. You just said in the story.
Understanding the story, the Rebbe,
What's wrong with him? He can't hear him.
He needs to speak into his phone.
the
Speak to your
Rebbe,
phone. Can't
Hello?
hear. Oh.
okay, the Rebbe had reprimanded him
Yeah.
for having lost faith. He's lying over there in the hospital, having flown down the mountain, and he hardly survived. And the only thing he's asking for is that he should come to a kosher burial. What kind of what happened to you?
He forgot
What
that he
does
was
this have
on
to
his
do with
way to
Koyach
Rostov.
Hanela?
What?
And what's the connection of this to Koyach
No, I'll let
Hanela?
you connect it. I'll let you connect. Do the connection.
Okay. Are you going to go back and speak about how this? I don't get how this, the explanation of how the sechel. So this is Koyach Hanela. How so?
I explained. Mekei Hanela means that the koyach is doesn't even exist there. What exists there is the reality itself. Like I gave you the example of reaching a place behind a wall
Yeah, I heard that.
or behind the ocean. It's not accessible.
So
But
this
the
is
koyach
what makes-
Hanela. What?
This is what makes the connection between the nefesh and the guf.
Otasei. Now that we're coming now to. This is koyach Hanelam. This is the reality itself. This is what he says. That vayipa be'apav nishmas chayim. This was mamshich helem the etzem hanefesh. The helem I'm reading inside now again. The helem of the etzem hanefesh. The etzem of that which is l'mayla mikol hakoyches. That which is superior to all the koyches. Gam mibchinas yichida. Even above yichida. Yichida. This is the extreme of accessibility, so to speak. The extreme force for to do avodas Hashem. The extreme. Mesiras nefesh beyond Mesiras nefesh, but it's still a koyach. And a koyach in our moshul goes into the category accessibility. Extreme challenges, but accessibility. And this is l'mayla mikol hakoyches, above the whole principle of koyches. Koyches means abilities. This is above in kol hakoyches, even b'chinas chiyuv. This is the etzem hanefesh.
Meaning it only relates to presence.
Hold on a second. The Rebbe created a nefesh, a neshama. Nefesh elikis, a godly neshama. And the godly neshama only knows godliness. To the extreme. Yechida, this is mamish, this is all it knows. Yechida knows elikus. because it's the truth. Whatever because is, it's still a koyach a koyach that relates to something. The Etzem HaNefesh, this is God Himself in the Nefesh.
In the form of nefesh.
This is, you said, this is not dealing with koyches, accessibility, capability, probability. This is the indestructible element in the nefesh. And that can relate to anything, even to the goof. V'zehu hamachriach, and this is what forces as hanefesh, the nefesh, li es hagiluyim mimenu, so that the giluyim should come forth from the nefesh. K'moi gilui ha-sechel v'amidas, all giluyim, the gilui of sechel and midas. Because the Etzem HaNefesh itself was put in connection with this goof. Therefore, the Nefesh itself is mukhrach to talk to the goof. And how does it talk to the goof? All kinds of different qualities, sechel and midas. V'gam hili horotzim v'hataynik. Even the rotzim and tainuk of the nefesh come forth as a result of this. To put it a little bit in our terms again, and particularly, looking at it from our vantage point. We have sechel, we have midas, and it appears to us that the sechel functions within certain parameters. The midas function within certain parameters. The circumstance that arouses the sechel, sechel and circumstance and the sechel. Circumstance that brings out the midas. There is circumstance. This is gone in the category, it's accessibility. The absolute truth of sechel in the nefesh is it's impossible not to be. Like we had this illustration. This man lying in the gutter, drunk. And he has been drunk for years. And he says, I'm satisfied with it, don't take me out of here. Do we believe him or we don't believe him? He hasn't been in contact with his sechel, with his midas, for who knows how long. Does he still have them or not? This is the pshat. The Etzem HaNefesh is promoted. The Etzem HaNefesh gives it. The nefesh is there, and therefore the koyches are there. The nefesh gives out koyches, it forces the koyach out. Because the Etzem HaNefesh was forced into this condition, into this connection. This is like this man lying over there in the hospital after having been thrown out the train or rolled down the mountain and pulled into the hospital without unconscious. Does he still want to go to the Rebbe or not? So when he said, I want to have a Jewish burial, the Rebbe said, what happened to you? You lost your mind. So the nefesh wants to give in giluyim, even giluyim rotzim v'tainuk. V'hagiluyim yiyu be'ifun kozeh, and this giluyim should be in this manner, in the manner that sheyizchabruim haguf v'nefesh atibis, that these koiches should be able to be joined with the guf and nefesh atibis. Why? Because that is what the nefesh mission is. Yes, sir.
So, koyach hanelam in the Yipach B'Yakov is the koyach hanelam of the nefesh.
Right.
But it's also coming from some nelam level of the Eibishter.
Right. Because the nefesh is rooted in Atzmos.
And then the nefesh, because of this, the Yipach, it's forced ultimately to relate with its own koyach hanelam.
It is. It reveals from the, everything comes there. It comes from the koyach hanelam.
So where is the makriach aspect?
Because normally the nefesh doesn't want to be nisgal in koyches at all. Certainly not in the goof.
And the presence of the nelam level, this is what forces it to go be out of its normal, what it prefers?
Right. In other words, the ultimate connection, the nefesh with the goof, is not via its koiches, not via nefesh, not via ruach, not via neshama, not via yechida, not via chay, not via yechid. The connection nefesh to the goof is an essential thing in the nefesh by godly decree. This is the essence of nefesh itself. And as a result of this, and all the koiches come forth, the yiluyim of all the koiches come as a result of this etzem. Otherwise, why would the nefesh be misgalus? And here, because of this vayipach, because of this essential force, not only the koiches can be his galus, but the koiches can be his galus to be effective in the guf and nefesh atibis.
This is like the gibor going through the wall.
Going to the wall, exactly right. Like we always have this muscle, we say that while walking, you can cover any distance. Really, a person, the Gashmis, is here. What connection does he have with over there? Here's where he belongs. Here's where he is. We have to eventually we'll talk a little bit more about this principle of throwing the rock. And we said that it has to be carried. It doesn't fly by itself. He is where he is. The Dovah Gashmi is where he is. The whole phenomenon that he perceives a different location. Not only he perceives a location, but he actually inspires the body to go and get there, which is totally contrary to the body nature. Certainly the body doesn't know that there's another place, it knows where he is. And this koyach hanefesh is such, it's Meslabish and the Gubin says, no, you can get there. You can't get it, you'll get there, it's there, you'll get there. Just start moving, start walking. Especially the slapshas and nefesh, the esem and nefesh in the goof. Without inspiration, no matter how strong the goof is, you'll get exhausted in no time. No time. Oh, I had enough. I can't walk anymore.
What little children do when parents drag them places? They say, "Okay, I want to drink, I want to eat, I want to sleep."
The nature of the goof is very, very limited. Certainly, to move from place to place is totally out of his nature. He's being carried by the nefesh, and the nefesh, has a completely different perception of things. He doesn't even reckon with the possibility, with the accessibility. He reckons only, this is where I want to be, and therefore I'm going to be there. There is a saying. It's not a saying. It's a very true phenomenon in our lives. That if you want something really strong, really hard, you'll get it. Ça c'est là.
Huh?
You know French?
I didn't hear it.
I only talk to French.
Say it again.
Ça c'est là.
That's how it is?
But what's about how can we reconcile it with the Munah? It has to be the creed from Hashem also.
Of course, the neighbor says he put the neshama into the group.
Yeah, but what's being said, like if you want really something, you can get it.
Because the neshama wants it.
Yes, the Abishta wants it.
Yeah. He put the thoughts into the neshama.
He gave the koyach, a rot of the neshama. To will.
Sometimes you have the wrong.
Okay, so we'll just go a little bit to the next line. V'zehu, and this is the meaning when it says Ach betzelem is halachish. I mean, we mentioned before, and Isaiah says this tzelem comes with the nefesh along. Vayipa be'apav nishmas chayim, along with the neshama came the tzelem. Came this form. And with this tzelem is halachish. With this tzelem, ish can move around. The principle of hiluchu is hagiloyim the koychas hanefesh. Hiluch means movement. The gilum of koychas hanefesh, this is the koychas hanefesh are expressed and promoted. This means hiluch. The nefesh itself is where it is. And it has its own principles, its own truth. Hiluch means he expands and goes beyond his place. This is the koychas hanefesh. All right, we'll stop here. There's more here.
Good talk, Brother Paltiel.
Have a great day.
Yeah, 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 yeah.